Hello, this is Steve with the Free Bullion Investment Guide. Today is February 9th. I am doing a review and outlook for silver. This is silver's 4-hour chart. And in silver's 4-hour chart, I have shown you this rising expanding wedge for about 3 weeks now, I believe. It has tested it a few times, but it has not broken below it. In review of my outlook from the last video that I posted on the 2nd, which was last Saturday, I had shown you this falling expanding wedge, which was confirmed mid last week, and then it was then basically the price of silver skirted along the upper trend line of the falling expanding wedge, and then it convincingly confirmed it as any pattern would assume to be confirmed. Usually you want to see a convincing move to the upside, which we didn't get when it first broke above it here, but we did get it later in the week. Now, why did silver move in the way that it did? It fell in price mostly because of there was progress reported between China and U.S. considering the trade talks, and also there was there were the Eurozone slashed outlook because unrest in France and Germany's industrial outlook was slashed, or wasn't coming up to par that economists had expected. So those two reasons are the reasons why the price of silver and gold actually fell in price. However, the price of the dollar just rose from those two items. And quite literally, we're going to see more sideways movement as long as we hear 1 week that the trade war is going to be resolved, and then another week that it's not going to be resolved, that everything that was said prior to that point is now bunk. So until we get some confirmation, some actual facts from these individuals that are doing these talks, we won't know what's going on. All we're hearing really right now is rumor. And every time that the financial press hears something good or something bad, they shoot it out for the market to hear, and we get all this sideways movement and everything else from the safe haven currencies like silver and gold and the US dollar. And the US dollar, when it moves up, silver and gold move down. So that's what made silver and gold move up last week was it was this news that came out that the meeting that was supposed to happen between the Chinese and American president was highly unlikely now to happen. So you see, nobody really knows, and it's just causing a lot of uncertainty in the markets. But when good news comes out, you're going to see gold and silver fall, and when bad news comes out, you're going to see gold and silver rise. It's just a game. That's what it feels like. But also next week, the trade secretary is going over to China to have talks about the trade impasse. So hopefully something good will come out of that. And that's the big reason why I think that we will continue to see a sideways movement out of silver and gold. And it may test the $16 price level. I'm going to move to the daily chart to show you my outlook for silver. I'm just simply going to expand this expanding wedge to there, and in the daily chart here, and that's silver's outlook. We have a negative pattern, and we have a positive pattern out of the falling expanding wedge, and a negative pattern out with the large rising expanding wedge, and we got negative over positive, and I really don't know what to say what's going to happen, because the news with the trade war, we also have, I believe the deadline for the shutdown is Friday of this week. So that could be, if if we don't have a government shutdown, silver and gold will likely fall a little bit in price. However, if we do have a government shutdown, it will help push the dollar, push the dollar down and help gold and silver rise in price. So we could see, we're basically going to see a sideways movement out of gold and silver. I realize this is silver's outlook, but I just did one for gold, and I often say the same things in silver and gold's outlooks. So, anyways, we're going to see sideways movement out of silver. I expect actually both of these patterns could quite possibly be broken this week in the silver chart, and we may test the $16 resistance level. It's doubtful that we'll get even close to the 1620 level, but we'll see what happens. So I thank you for your time. Take care and God bless.